All right, now this is lab 3. Lab 3 is very similar to lab 2, except it'll take 30 seconds for most of it. So basically what I'm telling you, it's the same handout, except I tell you to use automated tools now. Okay? Because you're not always going to have these automated tools. Like InCase costs $3,000, FTK costs $1,800. Some of the other ones are free, but in the real world, are you really going to have all these tools? Not always. Okay? What I want you to do is the report generated by the tool, which I'll show you what they are. With InCase, I want an RTF file, which stands for Rich Text Format. For FTK, I want a zip file, which I'll show you. FTK 3.4, I'm probably not going to go over that one tonight, but if you want to play with it, you can. That'll create PDF files. So I tell you up here, FTK 1.8, 1.6, or 3.4, 4, whatever. But we're just going to do 1.8, 1.6 for today. Foremost and Scalpel, there's an audit file which I'll show you. Now this lab, like I said, it takes 30 seconds for some of these tools. I will tell you that the grade on this lab is considerably less than the grade on lab 2 majority of the time. Because people think it's so easy and they submit the wrong stuff. And it's like, that's not what I asked for. So, okay? But it's the same image. So, the image from lab 2 contained what? What was in it? GIF, JPEGs, PDF. How many movie files are in there?
How many what?
Movies, MOVs.
I didn't really check.
None. So don't include them. Okay. How many PGP files are in there? Oh, there'll be none. Don't include them. Every semester people give me, oh, I found 47 PGP files. No, you didn't. They weren't there. So when you do it, make sure they're valid. The reason is, some of these file signatures could be embedded to kind of in another file. Like if you look up the header of a PGP file, I don't remember exactly what it is, but that is found frequently inside of other files.
No, we're going to search for the same amount of files.
Yeah, exactly the same. I'm using the same. You're using the same image. I did not give you a new image even.
Right, but the requirements, what we're looking for is just basically 4 of each.
Yes, 4 of each. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to do this. Everybody okay on what you're going to do first? Okay. Up under the, I put some software here folder, you know, that software needed folder. I put 4 copies of InCase. 2 of them are 6.19, 386 and 64-bit. Then there's 2 copies of the 7.05. Again, 386 and 64-bit. Download the appropriate one for your computer. You can do them on the virtual lab. For some reason, you can't do it on the Rhodes network because they got the damn thing blocked or some weird thing. We got to figure out why. I just tried here; it won't connect. So, but the virtual machines work fine. You can do it on your home PC, no problem. There's also an InCase keys file that you need. I put that up there, and I put Foremost up there. I put Scalpel up there. I made a little video how to install it and everything, so it's already installed up there. So the video is already there. I made it this afternoon. It's brand new. Okay, so I'm going to walk through a couple different tools. First thing I'm going to walk through is Foremost. Okay, Foremost is a command line tool. Everybody know what command line tools mean? Where do you run them from?
DOS.
Command line. Very good. Okay, we're doing good. Okay. Okay, now I already copied my Lab 2 image in there. It's the same image we used last week. Okay? So even though this is Lab 3, you're using the Lab 2 image. Everybody see it in there? I already copied it in there. Lab 2 image.001. Now this is kind of tough. But before I do that, let's look at it real quick. Let's look at what the program looks like. If I go into the Foremost directory, there's a configuration file. Okay? Everybody see this comp file right here? Whoops, I opened it. If you open it up, it tells you which type of file do you want to recover. And you uncheck the ones you want. So do we need to uncheck AOL files? Probably not, since they're not on there. But if you uncheck it, it's going to recover pieces of them because it thinks that might be an AOL file, so don't do that. But, so what am I going to recover right now? Can anybody tell?
GIFs, PNGs, BMPs. We should check.
I'm going to cover one file type. What am I uncovering? Just GIF. How do you know that? Because it's the only one without a comment in front of it. The pound sign is a comment. See this right here? This pound sign? That's a comment. So the only one it's going to do is this guy, because he's the only one without a comment. See that? Because this is going to run through the file and do every one without a comment. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's kind of tough. Type Foremost, and then the image name. Okay? So how long did it take you to recover the gifts? Not that long, but sometime.
Maybe 4 minutes.
Done. It's finished. Okay. Now, let's go in here and look and see what it did. It made an output directory. I go into the output directory. There's some gifts in there. Let's click on some. Oh, look, there's a Mountain Dew can. There's that Mountain Dew can. There's a dog. So, pretty simple to do.
I was actually able to recover more than what I was able to find.
Well, some could be corrupt. Now, one thing you're going to screw up, I'll tell you right now. If I run this again, it's not going to work.
Because it's already created the out.
It's already created the output directory. And this is a forensically sound tool. It means once it creates that directory, it never writes to it again. So if you want to run it again, go back over here, delete the output directory.
Can you just rename it?
Oh, you can rename it, yes, you could. I mean, you can do all the file types in one. You can unselect the ones you need and say go, and you finish the whole thing in 30 seconds. Like here, I'll even do that for you. I'll do GIFs, and we'll do a JPEG as well. Okay? So now if I run it, and it's done, and I go to this area, go to output. We already saw the GIFs, but now I got some JPEGs in here. Well, that one's corrupt. Hopefully I got some JPEGs in here. I might not have any. There it is. Some are valid. There's a good one there. There's a couple different JPEGs in here. Okay? Easy enough? Do y'all like that tool? All right. So what do I want from this tool? What I want is this file right here. This audit.txt file. Rename it like foremost audit.txt. Because foremost and scalpel make the same file. So rename it to something. What this file is, that's all it is. It tells me what you got. Okay. And at the bottom here, you know, it tells me all the wow, look at all them files I got. So we got a lot. So did it really get 195 JPEGs? Probably not. But some of them are probably corrupt. And I don't know if you realize this, JPEGs actually store a thumbnail of themselves in the file. So that's why you're getting multiple files. That's on the InCase exam, by the way. It's like, there's only one JPEG, but there's two files. How come? One's a thumbnail. Okay? So, easy enough to do. Don't bring up here and show me movie files and RAR files and PGP files and all that junk, because they're not there. Okay? Everybody good on Foremost?
Okay, just one question. You just wanted us to email you or drop
Submit that one file. You're going to go in here and you're going to say, Foremost, done. Want that one file.
Do we have to do it all in one search then for it to create that one file, or will we?
Well,
like,
then you have multiple files.
Okay.
If you did JPEG and then GIFs and then this, then you'll have 20 different ones.
Do we
Now,
have to search for anything other than what you already listed
nope,
on the assignment?
just the ones I gave you.
Okay.
Now, remember when you're looking up headers and footer trailers of files? Doesn't these look familiar? FFD8, FFD9. Remember when you all did the JPEGs, that's what you search for? So this tool, you can really make your own file types. You can put the header and then trailer. And it'll search for the header, and then it'll go until it finds the ending.
Oh, so as long as you have admin rights, you can customize that.
Yeah, you can customize all you want, which is kind of cool. So you can very easily add your own. And these should all match with, you know, whatever you guys found. Okay.
Does that actually list all the Word documents? Microsoft, okay.
Yep. See, D0, CF, X11, E0, A1, B1, and so on and so forth. Now, with the Office documents, it's pretty much says all docs. But they're not all docs, you know, because they're the same type. Some are going to be Excel and PPT, but they'll list them all as docs. Everybody okay on Foremost? Pretty tough program to run.
And can you get to that just by the command?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Let me bring back up Foremost again. I'm going to delete that output directory. I'm going to run Foremost. I tell you, every semester I get this question. Ken, I've been running Foremost for 3 days. It's not done yet. I'm serious. Every semester, I've been running it for days and days. It runs at the command line. You can't run it this way. It's basically saying, hey, where's my input? It's going to sit there and wait for the input. So don't run it by clicking on it. You'll get this, and you'll be like, man, I've been running since Friday. And, you know. Not good. Okay? So all I did was I went to the command prompt. If you don't know how to do that, start run CMD for command. CD into whatever directory you need. I installed mine in Foremost. Makes it easy that way. So we're okay with that? Now we're going to do scalpel. Scalpel is the foremost replacement. It was actually made by the Air Force OSI. Okay, so we're in Scalpel. Got the same type of configuration file somewhere. There it is. Scalpel.conf. Doesn't it look pretty much the same? Same type of thing. Nothing different here at all. Now when you run it though, you got to type Scalpel instead. And there. This one has a little bit fancier output. So as you kind of, a little graphical what it did. Now if we're working with hundreds and hundreds of megs of files, this might be handy, but I mean you guys are working with 11 megs. Well, take them all. Okay? So let's look at the output of Scalpel. It makes a directory called Scalpel output. Again, if you try to run it twice, it'll say, hey, this directory already exists. You can't do that. There's the audit file. If you open the audit file up, same basic thing. Okay, shouldn't see any PGP files in there or anything. If I go into JPEG, so look, I got a fake one. There's a Mountain Dew guy. Assuming you've seen most of these already?
Yep.
Yeah, where's that one? You realize there's that much sugar in Mountain Dew? Isn't that a lot of sugar? But this is what sugarstack.com, we also found. They have the list of carrots. The number of carrots to equal the amount of sugar. And it's like 3 pounds of carrots equals 1 Mountain Dew. So that's a lot of carrots.
Was Coke worse though? Or was it
Yeah,
Coke?
it was about the same, I thought.
Was it?
I don't know. But man, some of them are crazy. Those energy drinks, like Monster and those things. I think the table broke. Okay, everybody okay in Scalpel? You just go in here, take that audit file, rename it Scalpel audit.txt, and you're good. So we're talking about 30 seconds on each of these so far. Okay, that's all it takes. All right, we're done at the command prompt. There's 2 tools. Now we're going to do FTK. We will be using the newer version of FTK later. Now, this, we're going to continue on because for some reason it won't connect to the darn who's-a-whatsy. Just go anyway. We're only working with 11 files here, so we're good in demo mode. Okay.
So
All right.
if I were to go get the dongle to plug it in the back,
No, it's too much work. All right. Now, what I want to do here is I want to add evidence. Okay. Everybody following along? I mean, you guys done this already. I'm going to, the name is Ken. Okay, now, what we're going to be looking for this time is this data carving option down here at the bottom. Everybody see it? It says automatically find specific file types embedded in other files and from free space. Retrieve results using data carving options in the tools menu. Or click here. But, I mean, you can click. I usually don't click there. I just do the tools menu later. But here you tell which kind of files you want to pick. So let's, we're just going to get some JPEGs here. Okay. Automatically add them to the case. If you don't click this, it will find them. It won't do anything with them. You kind of need to add them to the case to view them. Okay. You can also tell to add based on certain sizes. Like if this was a real case, obviously I wouldn't want thumbnails and stuff like that. So you can tell it only get ones over a certain size. Okay. So we're going to say, okay. Then we're going to say next. Now we're going to add our evidence. This is an acquired image of a drive. And we're going to go to, I'll use the image out of foremost. Same image. Okay, now you notice this image is asking for a time zone. Reason is, fat file systems don't know what time it is. They really don't. NTFS actually has the date and time embedded in the file system itself. So in fact, you got to kind of tell it what time zone it's from. Really doesn't matter for what we're doing, but in the real world, if you're analyzing a case from California, all your dates and times will be off if you didn't set the right time zone. Okay. So we're going to say OK. Then we're going to say next, maybe, next, and finish. Okay, it's adding our files. Didn't take very long, and now it's all carved. If you had more selected, it would obviously do more. Okay. Now, if I get under the data carved files, I have some JPEGs here. Done some Mountain Dew stuff. Pretty simple to do. Everybody see that? Now, there's some files in here that are like that. That's an EXIF data. It's not really a separate file, but we're actually going to play with EXIF data later on. But kind of like I was telling the student yesterday, They were up here studying on Saturday, and they wanted to figure out a way to give me proof. I said, take a picture with your smartphone. It's got EXIF data built in with GPS. I can very easily see where you took the picture, what time you took the picture, and everything. So, and we're going to play with that on Lab 11. So, I think most people think that's the funnest lab, so we have to save it for the end. Going to beat you down a bunch, and then we'll give you something fun. All right. Now, so there's that. If I go to the graphics tab, I have to click the list all descendants, but there's all my pictures. Pretty simple to do. Okay. I can do the same for whatever. I mean, Office documents would appear under documents. Now, it does show documents. It shows 3 of them, but that's just the EXIF data documents. That's not the whole Word document. Okay? This is just all kinds of information about those pictures it took.
So is that a JPEG embedded into an Office document?
No, it's actually the EXIF. They just save it as HTML. The JPEG date, the beginning of the file, actually has all of it in there. Let me show you that real quick. Well, I deleted them all. Do we have any JPEGs anywhere? Great, I don't have any JPEGs. I deleted them all. Well, if you right-hand click on a JPEG, go Properties, under the Windows, it'll even show you the GPS coordinates. It'll show you all kinds of information about the file. We will cover that later, though. We'll do a whole lab on that. Okay. Spreadsheets, that's where your spreadsheets would show up. Okay. Now, say we find this stuff, I need you to make me a report. Now, in here, we have a reporting option. Under File, there's a report wizard. Everybody see that? Report's kind of cool, and that's probably, a very large portion of the certification exam is the darn report. It's like, what? It's really nothing. But, fill in some information there. Now, if you had bookmarked the images, you can tell it to yes to include the bookmarks, which I hope you do bookmark this stuff. Say, actually, let me bookmark something. Say I want to bookmark these 3 files. I'm going to create a bookmark. Everybody with me? I'm going to call it Mountain Dew. Dewey. Mountain Dew. Now, I have an option down here at the bottom to automatically include it in my report or not. See, the deal is when you're doing this investigation in the real world, you might have 1,000,000 bookmarks. Ooh, that's kind of important looking, but you might not want to include all of them in your report. But, so you can tell this one to be included or not. You can tell it to include attachments. I'm going to leave it unchecked. So we have 1 bookmark, and if I went to the Bookmarks tab, you would see I have a bookmark with 3 pictures in it. Yes, sir?
Do you want all the files in the bookmark?
Yes. Yep. Every file, well, at least to 28. Okay. You can end up with more than that because there's a lot more JPEGs and GIFs. But, I mean, it really doesn't take any more time to retrieve all of them than 4. So.
Do you want us just to arbitrarily bookmark a few just to show that we can, or?
Just select all of them. It's no big deal. Just go in there and select all of them and add them. Done. It's not really much. Now, yeah, you just go in here and you can actually add them to a bookmark. You can add them to this bookmark, and now my bookmark has all the pictures in it. So it's really easy to manage bookmarks. Okay. Now, back under File Reporting, we're going to go Next. Now I get some options. Include all bookmarks. Again, depending on what you're doing, in this case, you have to include them all, but in the real world you might not, because you might have bookmarks you don't want to include. Or you could do ones that say include in report only, but we're going to include all of them. You can include thumbnails, you can do full-size graphics. Okay. Then would you like to export the files to the report? Yes, if you like to, that's fine. The part I want to get to, just go next to these, is this graphics area. Okay. I want you to include the graphics. Okay. Include all graphics in the case. So really, we didn't have to select them because we could have done it here. There's many different places to do this in this tool. I could do 1 per row. I could do 6 per row. Actually, that was the big deal in the test. You must make 6 per row. Okay, that was tough. I clicked the button, but it was a big part of the test. Okay. And I can group all at the end of the report. I can also tell, do I want to include the file path? Do I want to know, did it come under C, My Documents, whatever? But since ours doesn't have a path, since ours were all deleted, so. Okay, I can also list file properties. I can see different stuff about them. I can see, all kinds of information about the files. Was it deleted? All kinds of stuff. Okay, I can add other stuff. I can add case files. I can add log files. I can add whatever. Maybe I found something and exported it, and I want to attach it to it. Just whatever you want. You don't need to in this case, but you could. Okay. All right, we're going to put my report on the desktop, and I'm going to show you why. Command desktop. Okay. And there we go. There's the folder. And you can put a custom graphic. Who cares about all that? We're going to finish. Okay? It's not empty. Yes, that's fine. What? Please? Please enter or select. Fine. We'll put it in. Oh. There. Now it's in report. Now it's happy. Good. Now it exported it. You wish to view it? Yes. All right. Now we have a report. Okay. In here I can see my bookmarks. I can see the contents of them. I can actually see the Mountain Dew bookmark with the files, and I can click on them and see the full size. I can go to the graphics at the end. I can see an index of the graphics. So pretty simple to do. Okay. Now here's how you're going to screw up this one. I'm just telling you because I know what people do. This is the report right here. This index file. If you open it up, there's your report. Don't submit that. Don't submit just that. I'll show you why. So do y'all agree that when I open that up, I can see everything? I can see all the pictures and the bookmarks and everything. Y'all agree with that? There's nothing there. Because if I take this and copy it over here, so say you mailed me just that file. Now if I open it up, all it is a link to other frames. It's like, great. I literally have people submit this. I'm like, there's nothing here. So what you need to do, don't submit just that. Take your report folder, right-click on it, and send to compressed zip folder, and that makes it into a zip file. Or you can use 7-zip or whatever you have. Okay? But if you do send a zip file folder, it'll make something called report.zip, and that's what you submit. Okay? Everybody okay on that? So this one's going to be a little bigger in the audit file, but it's pretty simple to do. Just do that, and then there it goes, and I get a report.zip. Like mine is a whole 2 megs. Okay?
Do you accept ARC files?
Hard file? What?
Like
Arc.
printed?
ARC?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, 7-zip will open them. That's fine. Okay.
I thought you said hard file.
That's what I did on my hard files. Is that an art file? No. Easy enough to get the report out of that. Just submit the whole reports directory. When you make the report, it asks you where to put it. Put it in a place you can find it. Don't put it some random place and you can't find it. That's why I put it on desktop or put it in the root or something. Okay, everybody okay on InCase? FTK. Okay. Now I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, and by the way, if I want to go back and edit my report, I can go back into the report wizard, and everything I selected before it remembers. It remembered the 6. So if you want to change one thing, you can just go next and change that one thing and finish it because it'll remember the settings, which is kind of nice. Okay. So we're done with this. Want to back it up? No. No. Okay. Now we're going to do it with the other program. Come on. Oh, you know what? I don't have the darn image on there. Is it not open already? There it is. Okay. InCase. I need to find an image real quick. Hold on. Let me find one. File server 1. I'm going to go up here. Let's take some of the old things. Lab 2. This is not your image, but it'll be okay for a demo. Okay. Copy it over here. I forgot to put it on my virtual machine. Now I feel like downloading it. All right. Now InCase. InCase has to connect to the licensing server or it won't run. So watch my little installed video. I show you how to do that. Okay. But on this office here, I screwed up. All right. There's InCase. Now, if you run InCase and it says acquisition, all that means is you can acquire stuff. That's it. That means it's unlicensed. It hasn't found the licensing server. So when you do it correctly, it'll say law enforcement training. And again, I gave you a little video on how to do that. Okay? Now, in InCase, you got 2 options. Well, first of all, we're going to create a case called case 1. Okay? Fine, I'll put a name in here. My name will be 1. All right. I went to 3 weeks of training in this tool. This tool is not very intuitive. You know what intuitive means? I mean, you just know it. You don't know this. You look at it and say, why did they do that? Well, once you realize how the tool works, you'll understand it. FTK, remember when we brought in the evidence? It sat there for a second and processed it. Remember when you did lab 1, it took a while to process all that? Well, it actually went through an index. It read the entire drive. It processed it, did all kinds of stuff so you can perform analysis on it pretty quickly. Well, there could be a problem with that. They found in some states that just by indexing the drive, they've actually accessed the evidence. So what if you're on a crime for counterfeiting and you index a drive for child pornography? You didn't have the rights to look for child pornography. You have the tool to look for it for you. So that's why FTK is not as good sometimes. I mean, they're both good. InCase, you add evidence, it does nothing to it. You add it, it's like, okay, I got it. Now what do you want to do? Then you select exactly what you want to do. It won't access your evidence. It won't do anything to it until you tell it to. So it's good and bad. They're both excellent tools. InCase is probably the most common out in the real world. A lot harder to use. The FTK certification exam by Access Data, the exam itself was probably 20 questions, and there was like 8 practical things I had to do. It was pretty simple. The InCase exam was 185 questions, and then it was 2 months long project. It was very, very detailed, and they don't tell you if you passed or failed. Even when I was done, I wanted to know a specific thing. I'm like, I passed. I know that. Can you tell me if I answered this right? They're like, nope. Sucks. So I never would tell them. So, but it's a good tool. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. In InCase, you can add a device. You're not going to be doing this, by the way, yet. But you can add a device. You can add a local device. You can look for Palm Pilots, and we're going to be doing our phones through here. But you can add a local device. Okay. For that to work, you have to have what's called an EO1 image, which is an InCase image. But for this lab, we're going to be doing File, Add Raw Image. Okay? So File, Add Raw Image. Okay, it's going to be a disk image. And we're going to go in here, and we're going to say Insert, and it is on my desktop. Somewhere. Lab 2. Okay? So I'm adding a raw image. I'm going to say OK. And it's done. Didn't do anything but add it to the program. Connected it to it, basically, and that's all it did. If I was to click on this image, okay, I could actually view my report, which really doesn't have much in it yet. I could view a table view. I mean, I can even see the file down here at the bottom. Okay, there's the text. I can do the hex view, just like you guys saw. This is the exact hex you guys were looking at. Well, no, this is a different image, but if it was the same image, it'd be in the same place. I can do doc view, which is not document view. It's, what do they call it? They're built-in document viewer. It's not doc as in Microsoft document. It's different. Okay. You can also see transcript view. What transcript view does, it takes out all the junk. It basically returns only the text. Kind of like when you're looking at a web page. If you look at the source of a web page, it's got all that code in there. Transcript view removes all that and just shows you the text. So it's kind of handy sometimes. But really, there's nothing on our image here. I mean, there's nothing over here on the right-hand side. If I click Report, there's really nothing there. If I click Gallery, there's nothing there. I can look at Timeline. If there was files, I could see when they were created. I can go into Disk View even. I can go in and look at my entire hard drive. If there was files on there, I could click at them at the different locations on the drive and see what's there. So kind of a cool feature. Now what we're going to do here, one thing you're going to do, okay, you're going to go to get your drive there. Doesn't have to be selected, doesn't matter. Down here in the bottom right hand corner, something called end scripts. End scripts are what make InCase what it is. You can create your own, you can buy them from other people, you can download them off the web. It's routines that people wrote to do what we need to do. Like under forensics, there's one here called case processor. Okay? That's one we're going to run. We're going to go to case processor down here. We're going to say run. Hadn't done anything yet. We're going to give it a name. We'll call it files. Okay? Then we're going to go next. Now, when I get in here, it's going to say, okay, what do you want to do? Under file parsers, you can see there's a lot of different files in here. AOL files, EXIF files, Google files, all kinds of them. And there's, come on, where is the other? There it is. No, that's protected file. That's not the one we want. Hold on. There it is. File Finder. That's the one we want. Okay. You want File Finder. Okay. But you can look through these, and they're kind of cool, some of the stuff they can do. But we want File Finder. I'm going to say Finish. No extension. Well, let's do, what do we want to do? Let's just do, we'll do GIFs and JPEGs. Okay? Say OK. I already selected it. Stupid thing. Oh wait, hold on. Do all files. There you go. All right. Now, down at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it. It was running.
We've done something else, I went away.
It's done. Down at the bottom, it'll show you when it's running. It'll say case processor, and it'll start running. But it was pretty quick, so it didn't take long. Now, what that did is it actually added a bookmark for us. Okay. Now, if I go up here to bookmarks, open this up, I get that file finder, and I go to my disk image. There's some GIFs, and there's some JPEGs. Okay. Now, if I click on gallery view, I can actually see them. So it's pretty simple the way it does it. Okay. And you can select whatever data types you want in there. Okay. Now, it's a little tricky to get the Office documents, but it's done kind of the same way. Play with that. What I'll tell you is, I at least want them included in your report. If you can figure out how to show me screenshots of them in your report, I'll give you extra credit. If you can't, I just want what it gives you. Okay? You'll just play with it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, what I can do is I can go into report view. There's all my stuff. Pretty simple here. I can include just certain things like, you know what, I only want the GIFs. So that's all that's in my report. Well, it better be in there. I didn't check the box. There. Now I have only GIFs in my report. Okay? The reason I'm telling you that is if you run File Finder and select all of them, it's going to recover AOL files and all those files you don't have. Then if you just give me a report of all the bookmarks, you're going to be all this stuff with nothing in it. I don't, you know, all that's, like I mentioned before, how I don't want the stuff that's not there. So once you get what you want here, you just right click over here and export. And we'll do an RTF and we'll put it on the desktop. It's called report, and we'll even open it when we're done. In theory, it should open. Come on. There it is. There's our report. Pretty simple to do. Okay. It's a nice tool. We'll be doing a whole bunch more with this tool, actually. Oh, gosh. Oh, get out of here. Fine. Don't. Whatever. Go away. All right. Say okay on what we did? I did each of the tools. They're pretty basic. Last year's recordings are still up there. So if you want to watch what I did last year, I probably did them a little bit different. Go look at those. But remember, I want all the types I listed, but with the documents listed, it won't show you, kind of like it shows the graphics here, it won't show you the documents very easily. Just play with it. You'll figure it out. If not, you'll still get 100. But if you want extra credit, it has the show documents in there. All right?
30 seconds.
Okay. Well, come on, the other tools. Actually, if you think about it, once you get it in here, it takes how long? It's literally nothing. It's just a couple of clicks and you're done. Now, Foremost did take 30 seconds. Actually, about 10 seconds.
So there's 3 total tools?
4.
4?
Foremost, Scalpel, FTK, and InCase. But I went through all of them in 40 minutes.
Your Foremost and Scalper showing up as being malware.
Oh, yeah. A lot of... Depending on where you install this stuff, they can appear as malware. Especially when you get to Lab 5. That thing's definitely malware. Because these can recover data. They can extract data. And, you know, I had a student who actually used Foremost. It was a Mike Bastings. I don't know if anyone knows him, works at the FAA. His hard drive died. 500 gig hard drive. He used Foremost and recovered all his stuff. But can you imagine how much stuff he had to look through? So I said, what options did you get? Oh, I told him to look for everything. I mean, dude, you're going to have like... Because his fact table was gone, so he basically had no directory structure. It was just file after file. It went forever. I don't know if he ever found what he was looking for, but it was pretty crazy. All right, in the real world, we do this all the time. We've had Ed Wolf, his hard drive died, we got all his stuff back. People all the time bring me their computer. Their drive's not bootable, put it in here and you can get it. I don't know who's first. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Do you just hook up your hard drive externally to
Yeah,
it?
you can hook up your hard drive, and you know how when I brought up InCase, I said add device? Yeah, you could select C drive or whatever. Normally, I would use like FTK Imager and image it, and then work off the image. But yeah, you can hook up your... We do it all the time in my office. Roy got some files for Barbara this last week. Her laptop was screwed up in a fire, So he hooked it up, was able to get some pictures and documents, and the hard drive died. It's like,
For
whoa.
real?
For real, yeah.
I haven't seen her.
Yeah, well, she was here. She had a house fire Christmas Eve.
Thought I saw her.
Yeah. So, everybody okay on what you're doing? So I want 4 reports. How many? 4. Not 4D, just 4. Okay, 2 audit files, 4 on scalpel. Again, those are the quickest tools. These tools, I mean, once you get it in there, it was data carving didn't take but a second, and this didn't take but a second. And this report, I think, is super easy. Right click, export, done. It's like pretty simple. Okay? If you have no questions, you are free to go. They're all pre-installed on your virtual machines if you want to use there. I'm trying to make it so you can use a lot of these from home because they might work quicker for you and you can work wherever, stuff like that. But all the tools.
You recorded all that, right?
I recorded all of it. I'm getting ready to stop the recording right now.